Howdy. It is Laoshi Lawrence McElroy for Water Tiger School of Tai Chi Chuan, and our mostly weekly, we didn't do a workshop last week, but there was an announcement, and I hope you enjoyed the story that I told. Mostly weekly Tai Chi Qigong workshop that we call Water Tiger for Sachem and the greater community. Because Monday mornings at 10 a.m. should be a public class at Sachem Public Library in Holbrook, New York. And this has been filling that gap that has been there since March of last year. This is our 44th presentation in this series. Holy cow. And we are coming up on a year. Our first was March 23rd. Speaking of anniversaries, this will broadcast on Monday, I believe it's the 22nd, right? Yes, Monday the 22nd. We're recording it before the weekend. So we're in the midst of yet another winter storm. Isn't that fun? But anyway, come Thursday, the 25th, that would be our anniversary at Sachem Public Library. Our first class for Sachem Library was on Monday, February 25th, 2002. So it means 19 years. So we do hope to be back at some point post-pandemic. We will see. The libraries are doing things, as they can, differently from library to library, different boards of directors, different circumstances, that sort of thing. For instance, I am in discussion with a library client about an actual in-person class in the summer. Outside, limited attendance, no indoor possibility, so if it rains, we lose the class, with C-19 protocols in place, so face masks and that sort of thing. So that was exciting. That just crossed our path yesterday into today. So we're looking forward to that particular possibility. So there's that. Of course, the studio is still open for blended in-person and remote classes. And we are losing another long-term client tomorrow morning, Tuesday, the 23rd. Is our last class for a client that we've had since 2015. So that's a little sad. I'm going to miss those folks. But I hope they continue to follow Water Tiger and our efforts online. Speaking of that, I have made it official. Water Tiger has made it official as well that we are not pursuing an in-person event for World Tai Chi Day this year. I think that's April 24th this year. There are just too many variables. Right now the New York State restrictions are too tight to make it make sense to do an event. So we'll do something like one of these presentations, or maybe we'll upgrade our bandwidth and give live another shot. We're also contemplating the possibility of a restricted registration only Zoom event. So we'll see. We've got time before April. So there's that. That's sort of all the news that's fit to print. Today, I thought we'd do something a little bit fun. The Animal Frolics are always in rotation because we haven't done that many of the 26 possible frolics. But we were thinking about the fact, we're still doing home isolation, we're still wearing face masks. We've been pounded by winter storm after winter storm, not as bad as others. Texas. But it's been a winter in the Northeast as well. So I thought we should do something a little lighthearted. So yes, you may be already ahead of me. It is a Monkey Frolic Day. And we're going to do one frolic from the monkey. And I thought, since we wanted to look forward into the future, to the possibilities on the horizon, we would do Monkey Peeping. Don't know if the monkey's name is Tom. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. As always with the Animal Frolics, we're going to warm up with Advance and Retreat from the 9 Temple exercises. And I think that's almost all the news that's fit to print. I've already talked about a little bit about World Tai Chi Day. I want to talk a little bit more, and it isn't Qigong Day for us. So I have been making those days about wearing a World Tai Chi and Qigong Day t-shirt. We'll see how warm I stay. It is the basement, and I am multi-layered here. By the way, I don't think I've told you prior, but one Sunday, because of a winter storm, we were remote for a long day in the studio, which meant I was in this space for a long time. And it finally got to me. I had to know what the temperature was, and I brought a little portable thermometer down here, and I could almost literally see the needle drop down. It was 50 degrees, and it ain't warmed up since. So I'm going to keep my socks on, which are wool. I have more layers on than usual, and the Monkey Frolics should warm me up. So I'm not that worried about the temperature here. But anyway, Bill Douglas did announce over the weekend, he sent out an email, no new t-shirt design this year. But he and Angela are contemplating, planning, preparing for the possibility of doing a branded face mask, cloth face mask, that sort of thing. So they don't have any information. They don't even have they did like a Photoshop thing for the logo on the masks and made it clear that this is not the design for the mask. So as I know more, you guys will know more, follow the Facebook page, and we'll post information there. Normally, Water Tiger School is a local source for the World Tai Chi Day merch, but we may not be this year. We may just be pointing you to, hey, here's the link. Go buy the face masks yourself. But anyway, so I wanted to mention this. And also, I only have one t-shirt left from World Tai Chi Day that you guys haven't seen. So that's 14 of 15 t-shirts. This is from 2016, by the way. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to crunch my breast mint. I'm going to watch my med ball probably roll into my portable stereo. Nope, it stopped. So I'm going to just start with a little bit of movement. Hopefully your space that you're using is a little bit more temperate than the space in which I am in. But also finally cleaned off the car this morning. We live in an HOA, so the driveway itself was clean, but I had to clean off the car. Of course, it's getting covered in snow again. It is Friday afternoon, so it's I don't know what it is what it's doing where you are, but Friday afternoon in central Islip, New York, it's snowing again. So advance and retreat. Lots of things to talk about with advance and retreat from the 9 temple exercises. We do it as a warm-up for our approach to the Animal Frolics because our Animal Frolics movement requires the knees and the toes to be put in possible harm's way if we're not paying attention. So advance and retreat sort of starts to build that awareness that we have a separation between the upper body and the lower body in such a way that if I have a foot that's at a 45, I'm going to keep that knee at the 45 by not turning my hips. So that knee stays that direction. It doesn't travel the distance with me. It's really, really important. So that's the primary reason that we do advance and retreat. And also, we just like it. It works the abdominals, it works the legs, it works the ankles. It activates both the Xia Dantian and the Shen Yu cavity. So not the acupuncture point of the Xia Dantian, but the actual Xia Dantian, the esoteric vessel that sets in the abdominal cavity. The Shen Yu in the lower back area, that's also in the same area as the Xia Dantian. That's the essence store, kidney energy, that sort of thing. also gets activated. There's a list of organs that are benefited. You have the kidneys, the liver, the spleen, the pancreas, the ascending, the transverse, and the descending colons all get help through advance and retreat. Now, the way that it puts our attention, our mindfulness into our knees and toes and that they face the same direction is that our feet should be parallel. So what does that mean? Perpendicular to my torso. I am facing my device. My toes should be facing my device. And hey, they are. I actually made a point of finding a lighter pair of wool socks. Most of my wool socks are dark, so they stand out just a little bit on this mat. And probably a little bit wider than shoulder wide. You may find, however, if you have hip and knee issues, you may find that you need to be actually a little bit inside of shoulder width, whatever works for you, that sort of thing. I like this a little bit outside of shoulder width. So we're going to twist the torso here. Again, above the hips, depending upon how flexible your knees and your hips are, they may follow a little bit, but be careful with that. So I'm going to start to turn this first band until it starts to pull on that hip and starts to twist the hip. I didn't do the X thing this week because I'm not going to spend that much time talking about left and right in this particular exercise, but this is my right hip. So when my right hip starts to twist, because I'm twisting toward my left, once I start that hip start to move and the knees start to fold a little bit, I'm going to stop that band. I'm going to move up a little bit in my mid-torso, see how much more distance I can get by activating the mid-torso. Then when that starts to pull on the lower torso, which pulls on the hip, I'm done there. And then I see if I can get my shoulders a little bit farther. So up higher. And then when I run out of that, then I simply turn my head on my neck. And I look that direction. So that's the idea. You want to find that twist in sequence up through the torso so you don't pull that knee. We're going to have a weight shift. Now, advance and retreat, you have two things. You're going to retreat, you're going to advance. Now, there's an esoteric quality to that, and that is that when you're retreating, you're also advancing, and when you're advancing, you're also retreating. But we're going to start with retreat, which means I'm going to weight a foot. Maybe I will do the X. My tape is where I used it earlier. What did I do with it? Oh, it's behind my device. So we'll see, this reads okay. This idea was brought to my attention from somebody from public remote class and said they had difficulty knowing exactly when I was facing my left, that sort of thing, because the screen is different for different devices. So the t-shirt that I was wearing, she said something about the design, and she was able to know where my left shoulder was, so she asked me to mark my left shoulder. So I've been putting an X on my left shoulder. So anyway, I'm going to feel my left foot. There's the X. That's the left foot. I'm going to turn and face the left side of my space. If you can face your right side, if you want to go to your right, that's fine. And now for retreat, I'm going to push off on the left foot to fill the right. Again, my toes and my knees stay the same direction. As soon as my right foot is full, I'm going to turn, keeping the weight on the right. And then I'm going to retreat from the right side of my space. Notice I maintain vertical alignment. I'm not leaning back. I'm not leaning forward. I know the fisheye lens on this camera can make that look like maybe I am a villain in a Batman episode. But anyway, so that's the idea of retreat. There's a possible breath pattern. There's an image here. It's another reason we like advance and retreat, that there's a yin and yang quality to it. When I am retreating, when I am moving away from something, I'm compressing. I'm retreating while something's advancing, while something's expanding. And then when I switch and I advance, something's compressing, something's moving away, something's becoming yin, and I'm becoming yang. So there you go. Careful of the knees and toes pointing in the same direction. Weights in the left foot, turn and looking to the left. We're going to do 6 pairs in the 2 halves of this exercise. Breathe when you have to, but for retreat, I'm going to suggest on the shift, you inhale. On the turn, you exhale. So 3, 2, 1. Here's the shift, maybe on an inhalation, turn, maybe on an exhalation, retreating from the right side. That's one pair. Turn and shift. Now I'm doing things with my arms, turn and shift, two pair. But this is what I like to do in advance and retreat. I just let them hang. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. That's three pairs. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. That's four. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. That's five. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. That's six. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. That's seven. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Obviously, I decided to do more than six. This is the last one. We're going to 9 pair. Shift. Oops, that was turn. This is shift. So we're in our retreat position. There's no turn. We're going to switch to advance. Maybe we're going to change. I would like an exhalation now on the shift and an inhalation on the turn. But breathe when you have to. Same thing, I'm going to push off on the left foot. There's the X to fill my right, but now I'm going to be looking in the direction I'm going. And again, my hips aren't turning very much because if I turn my hips too much, see what happens to that knee? That knee doesn't like it when I do that, so I'm going to stop because it just told me to. 3, 2, 1, again, 9 pairs, shift. Notice vertical alignment, not leaning forward, not leaning backward, and turn. A lot of people want to turn while they're shifting, and we don't want to do that. Shift and turn. That's one pair, 8 left. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. I wasn't counting. Shift and turn. Shift and turn, but I think there's 5 pairs left. Shift and turn, shift and turn. Now 4, shift and turn, shift and turn. Now 3, shift and turn, shift and turn. Now 2, shift and turn, shift and turn. I would say 1, but I'm going to make it 2 more pairs. Shift and turn, shift and turn. This is the last pair, so my last advance to the right and turn. My last advance to the left. This time when I turn, I'm going to turn and face the front, and we wait, re-weight both feet. And there you go. There's a little advance and retreat, putting the mind in the knees and the toes so we can make sure as we're doing our frolic that we're not bringing our knee with us as we twist. So Water Tiger's approach to the Five Animal Frolics, the version of the Five Animal Frolics that we use, is mobile. It's a walking set. Some animal frolics, they don't really move. They might take a step forward, but then they bring it back, and then they step to the other side, and then they bring it back, and they move that way. Our frolics are walking. All of them move. They're actually meant to be performed in a circle walk. However, first learning them, first teaching them, it's always easier for everyone involved to do it in a linear fashion. So that's what I suggest. You get comfortable with the particular frolic, then, if you need to lay out a circle, what we do in the studio is we have this collection of plush animals, and we set 4 points of the circle with a center point. When we've presented the animal frolics at outdoor events, World Tai Chi Day events, or Tai Chi in the Park events, we would stick one of the swords, like the Dao, the broadsword, practice sword that I take to such events, as a center point of the circle and determine the circle there. I have a round dining table upstairs that is sort of cheating, but I use it nonetheless. But start in a linear fashion until you get accustomed to what it is that you're doing, and then take it into the circle. So in our walk, you're either with the border of the circle or in the straight line. So I'm moving toward my device. I'm going to be stepping 45-ish to 45-ish. As I heard somebody else say recently, what did we do before ish? In other words, that restrictive, it has to be the 45-degree angle. There's no other choice. But now we have ish. So we can say 45-ish. Because if you need something a little bit inside of a 45, hip, knee, ankle issues, do that. Right? But ideally 45 to 45. So were I to take all the fancy stuff out of it, that's what I'm doing, 45 to 45. However, what we do, we have that weighted foot. I'm starting on the right foot. So there's the X. This is my left foot because it's on the size of the X. For the Monkey Frolics, all of them actually, I believe, we've done monkey walking. I meant to pull the date. I didn't. We turn the upper body. Again, this is why we want the attention, the mindfulness of the knee, because I want that right knee pointed the same direction as my right foot. And I'm going to set the ball of the left foot down at my 45. I'm not trying to be shoulder wide here. That's why there are no blue lines laid out today. I hang out here because the movement in most of the animal frolics, not all of them, you do the movement, you hold. Drop the heel, come into that step, and there's a pause. Now, I'm at the 45 with my left foot. I'm going to turn, opening up the quad, so my left knee stays pointed the same direction as my left foot. Set the ball of the right foot down, and hold. I'm looking in that direction. Set the heel down, and step up, and hold, and then turn. And then switch to the heel, and boom. I'm going to take one more step, cutting off my head here, the headless monkey peeping, boom. And now our closing in the animal frolics will be reminiscent to some from our breathing set of Pour Chi through the Bach Way. I had a thought about that, by the way. Turning forward, up, palms down, and a little rebound. And notice what I did there, not only this movement and the normal bounce that we have, so we have movement to bring the hands into the Xia Dantian, but I also moved into the line I was walking. I was walking toward my device. I'm at the 45. As the palms turn up, I'm turning on the balls of both feet, so I'm facing the direction I've been walking. So you want to remember that too. So that's the lower body. Now what we need to know about the monkey, I'm going to come in here and sit and talk about some of these things, is the movement is really focused on the upper body. And it's that idea of I'm going to contract my shoulders and compress my neck as I'm moving. So I have that sort of monkey quality to the movement. Right? But I don't want to overdo that. A lot of people put too much tension in that movement. And, you will be cursing my name when you get out of bed in the morning, maybe before that. So you just want that light little idea of that monkey. And within that, one of the things, we've done a lot of the crane, because the crane is a people's favorite. Excuse me a moment, I'm going to step off camera. And anyway, like I said, I was outside cleaning off the car earlier, so don't worry. It's not the what do they say? It's not the COVID, but my nose is a little runny, so probably too much personal information there. But anyway, the crane opens up, the monkey closes in. So that's something to keep in mind. So there's that. The monkey's primary therapeutic quality is the health of the spleen, the pancreas. It helps with digestive issues as well as other gastrointestinal disorders. It can help balance your appetite. So if you need to work your appetite to eat less, if your appetite is overcharged, it'll help tap it down. If it's undercharged, it'll help tap it up. It also strengthens the shoulders and the spine, and it invigorates the entire system in such a way that it can even help with eye health and that sort of thing, which is why it's important, as you're looking to really look, to really see something in the distance. So it can help with, the invigoration of the system, helps with various infections and that sort of thing, and aids in the Monkey Frolics aid in general eye health. As with all the animals, the nature, you want to embrace the nature and the spirit of the monkey. The nature of the monkey is constant activity, which is kind of hard because we pause between the movements, but the constant activity doesn't actually have to be physical activity. I bring you the monkey mind. And the spirit of the animal is flexible and playful, which is sort of cleverness. The playful is a cleverness, maintaining a certain inner strength, intelligence. So that's the monkey. Remember, the express through constant activity, the playful and flexible, clever, with intelligence, movement focused in the upper body. The inhalation and the exhalation are both through the mouth. The inhalation, however, in through the teeth. So I'm not open mouth and the teeth aren't open. And then it's the sound of the wind. Now, you might be familiar if you've done some of the other frolics with us. Most of the animals that we have done have, not most, but a handful of them, the sound of the wind. The deer has the sound of the wind, the crane very much so, the monkey also. But we add a little bit of a ooh to it. Just a subtle hint, a flavor, a taste, a spice of that ooh of the monkey. But it's still the sound of the wind. We also have our chi focus, and our chi focus for the monkey is very, I'm going to use the S word, simple, because it's just on the Xia Dantian, not the acupuncture point, the actual esoteric vessel in the belly, and the hands, which I guess in this case are paws. And by the way, our hand position for the monkey, we sort of refer to it in the studio as sort of the snake head. But notice the thumb and the index finger are actually equal, but they have that look. Right? So there you go. Gonna get back up. Good balance. So what happens in the upper body is the direction I'm turning, the leg that's extending, the opposite hand comes up. And notice where I'm at. I'm at my temple, and my fingers and my thumbs are pointing the same direction as my eyes. So it's sort of like I'm shading my eyes, but I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. The other hand, the hand on the side of the extended leg, is back in that same position, but the palm is up, and the fingertips are back. And that is monkey peeping. We want to look in the distance. The practical, the monkey's been out walking, because the monkey peeping is the second frolic of the monkey, and is feeling a little peckish. So the monkey's looking for that perfect fruit tree. Why do we say the perfect fruit tree? Because the next frolic is monkey picking, or monkey picking the fruit. So the practical is looking in the distance for that perfect fruit tree. The esoteric that I mentioned before is looking to the horizon with hope and good thoughts for the end of winter and the end of the novel coronavirus pandemic. So anyway, this is monkey peeping. Remember, focusing on the qi, focusing on the Xia Dantian and the hands. The inhalation brings you to this position, setting the heel down and holding the breath, holding the movement. Setting the heel down. A little hunch. Coming up. That is monkey peeping. So we're going to do a pass. Not sure where we're at in time. Not really sure if that matters. Hopefully the whole thing will record. We've had a few times since we've gone to the pre-recorded that we've done a whole session, 50, 54 minutes, sometimes less than that. Went back, at the end of it, nothing had indicated that the recording had stopped, but the recording had stopped like at 17 minutes or something. So we had to reshoot the entire workshop. So here we go. And by the way, everything that we've laid out here, the therapeutic qualities, the nature of the animal, which is expressed with constant activity, the spirit of the monkey, which is that flexible and playful, the cleverness with intelligence, the breath in through the teeth, out like the sound of the wind with maybe a little monkey flavor to it, a little oop to it. The physical quality of the movement, that compressing, focusing on the upper body, compressing the shoulders, and then, compressing the shoulders and drawing in the neck. All those things are considered the Buddhist aspects of the frolic. The Taoist aspect is letting all that go and becoming the animal. So I always say in these sessions, for Water Tiger School's approach to the Five Animal Frolics, I make a reference to the very old, ancient actor's text from Stanislavski, and his approach to acting is, what would I do if I were the character in these given circumstances? We are not doing that. We are not, what would I do if I was a monkey in these given circumstances? We are the monkey. Everything else sort of becomes just an organic part of the process because we are the monkey. Go to some nature channel, find a documentary on monkeys, watch them move. You're good to go. So I'm going to start our first pass. I'm going to shut up. Well, I won't shut up, but we're going to start moving. In 3, 2, 1. Set the heel down. Pause. Be sure to look at that point in the distance. And ideally, everything gets to that end point at the same time. The inhalation, the hands, the foot, and everything gets to this position all at the same time. That was my last step, by the way, because I'm headless. I'm going to do that little close and that little bounce back. And there you go. One pass. We'll do another one. What I was talking about is the timing of breath and movement. That regardless of where you are in the breath, where you are in the movement, it should all be timed as such that the down hand gets into its position, the up hand gets into its position, the foot gets into its position, and the breath gets where it needs to go, all at the same moment. And after that, during the pause, you switch to the heel, and as you do that next thing, the hand that's down doesn't have far to move, but the hand that's up has a great distance to move. Back foot comes in, and the exhalation all end at the same time. That timing takes some time to get correct and to focus on. The other thing to keep in mind is if we're walking the circle, the animal frolics are usually prescribed or recommended for individuals, but the sets, the frolics are often done as a community exercise in a group. So not only do you have all these other concerns about the particular animal and what it is you're doing, you also have the group community concern. So you have to sort of play your spacing. So you may find, for instance, I'm falling behind the person in front of me. So this next, I do this, and then I take a broader step to come up to close that distance. Or maybe you're starting to ride the bumper of the person in front of you. So you're here, and I did a little bit of this because I was getting too close to the device, and I sort of took a step almost backwards as opposed to forward. So you have to learn how to adjust your stepping so you can maintain the integrity of the community walk. When we do things in a linear fashion, we're separate, so riding somebody's bumper or starting to pass somebody isn't as big a deal when you're doing the linear walks. So here we go. One more pass, and then we will call it a session. So breathe. No expectation. That way whatever happens is a pleasant surprise. I need this. Okay. Connect with your inner monkey. 3, 2, 1. Again, at the temple, fingertips pointed the same direction as my nose and my eyes, looking in the distance, seeing that perfect tree. I'm going to take 2 more steps. And our frolic close, turning to face the direction we're walking, palms up, turning on the balls of the feet, palms down, fingertip to fingertip. And I'm lowering here. So I then have a bounce and a rise to pull the hands to the acupuncture point for the Xia Dantian. And there you go, the Monkey Frolics. So it's always good to have in mind the therapeutic quality, that it's for the health of the spleen, the pancreas, the stomach. It's good for gastrointestinal disorders, for eating disorders, for either tamping up or tamping down the appetite. Strengthens the back and the spine, helps keep the spine subtle. It invigorates the entire system, helping to ward off and combat infections, and is generally, again, through invigorating the system, but also the way that you use it, and the monkey uses its eyes, helps with general eye health. We have the breath of the monkey, in and out through the teeth, in and out through the mouth, in through the teeth, out, sort of the sound of a breeze or wind, a little bit of monkey attitude. The movement is upper body focused. You have that sort of the compression, the drawing in of the neck, the compressing of the shoulders, sort of that little primate-like hunch that is created, very monkey-like, very playful, by the way, and that's the spirit of the animal. Flexible and playful. Flexible is a certain cleverness, and that sort of covers an inner strength, which is intelligence. Right? And the nature of the monkey is constant activity. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but sort of a sense of what we do at Water Tiger School, what we talk about at Water Tiger School is you're looking, and then this aspect is a swing, and maybe sailing through the air, waiting for the next vine, and so forth. So you have that idea, but also just the activity of the mind. That you're looking. Okay, that didn't work. I'm gonna look over here. Okay, that didn't work. Maybe I should, I don't know, look over there. Okay, no, I'm not sure. Maybe I should look over there. So you have that constant activity. That's the nature of the animal. You have the chi focus, which for the animal frolics, this one isn't too tough, focusing on the esoteric vessel of the Xia Dantian and the abdominal cavity and the hands. And the activity of the hands in the monkey can also help combat different aspects and issues that one might have with arthritis of the hands. And I think that's it, right? Yes, I think I covered all the points. So there you go. A little fun, a little monkey frolics on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. I did want to share, I was thinking about this earlier and I meant to make it part of the introduction and then I forgot. A number of years ago, I can't remember for how long. It was a public class. It was for an assisted living facility. Um, and I had a plan going in, but I didn't have all the information I needed. The entire audience was non-ambulatory, and they didn't tell me that. So I had a Tai Chi program outlined, immediate change. And I thought, okay, the animal frolics are going to work here and can be done seated. I mean, yes, you don't get the full benefit, but I thought it was the way I could keep their attention, which was another issue. And anyway, I'm bringing this up because one lady in particular, I used to know her name. It's gone now. It's been a number of years. But every time they wheeled her into the gymnasium where I did the presentation, she would start with monkey, monkey, monkey. Needless to say, she had a favorite animal, and it wasn't the tiger, it wasn't the crane, it wasn't the deer. We didn't do the bear. It was the monkey. And that her voice is still, her name isn't, but her voice is still in my head, and it still brings a smile to my face, obviously. So there's the Monkey Frolics. Again, I wanted to do something fun for you guys. I thought the Monkey Frolics would be fun. Plus, I thought the idea, the concept, the joke, I guess, of looking toward the spring, looking toward the end of the pandemic might be kind of fun to explore as well with the Monkey Peeping. So thank you. As always, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it educational, interesting. I hope you have fun with it. Questions, comments, of course, never an issue on the Facebook page. Share there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please know, yes, we preview all the comments, but it's not because we want to pull out negative comments and only post positive things. It's because if we don't, the YouTube algorithms do not stop hot links to places that are inappropriate for our usual audience. I think I finally figured out a good way to say that. So that's why the preview, no comments post live, but we don't hold back. If somebody has a negative comment, as long as it's not flaming and disrespectful, it will be moved into the comments section without hesitation. So there you go. Thank you very much. Mask up. Stay at home when you can. Maintain physical distance. Take care of yourselves. And next week, something Tai Chi. We still have a lot in our queue. We're starting to run out of warm-ups we haven't done. So you might start seeing some repeat in the warm-ups. We'll see. We're experimenting with some things that we haven't done that we don't normally do, and see what we come up with. So there you go. Laoshi Lawrence McElroy, Water Tiger School. Signing off. Peace out.